Okay, guys, so the Super Bowl just happened a few days ago. And I don't know if you've seen the internet, but the internet is a buzz. Everyone's talking about one thing, the Kendrick, the Kendrick halftime performance, and that's crazy. So firstly, why am I even talking about Kendrick? Um, Firstly, I just want to say I've never listened to his music, um, but I saw about his music in a YouTube video, and dang, when I watched that video, one thing came to mind. This guy is insanely talented and skilled. This guy is an insane storyteller. And I didn't even, I just heard him speak. I just heard him sing, and I was like, this guy is insane at what he does. He's crazy good. And it made me think of like, wow, God has really given some people skills. And that's the trap, I think, for a lot of people um, who are not Christians is that, and even some Christians is that, when they hear music that sounds good, firstly, I just want to say a lot of music in the world sounds very similar. Um, but when they hear music that sounds good, they can tend to fall for, the bad side of what is actually in the music. So yeah, I felt very convicted about it, and I put a pause on that. Anyway, so then a few things I noticed from Kendrick's performance. Um, Again, still kind of like I don't know why I went to watch it, but I watched it. A few things I noticed from his performance. First of all, he made use of Christian symbols, which is actually super cool, because as you've probably heard, or if you've not, he has some history with Christianity and with the church, and is affiliated with Lecrae, who is one of the biggest Christian hip hop artists that there are in the world, and so that's his affiliations, and he used some Christian symbols, made some references to God, made some reference to the Bible, I think. Um, and I just noticed that, and he was upright about that. Now, of course, a lot of famous, firstly, someone like him to make a reference like that, like I don't, I he could not be Christian, but I think he is in search of God. I honestly think he's in search of God, and so I really believe that we as Christians should be praying for him. Okay, other thing I noticed about his performance is, of course, the insane storytelling, but there was another aspect of his performance, which is the things that it presents, and that's the trap of secular music. And the trap of secular music is, it sounds kind of good, but it's rebellious. Now, I will say this, I will start with this. Kendrick's, the way he makes music is insane. As I said, God gives people talents. God has made some people very creative, and this guy has worked on his craft and has become so good at it. But here's the trap of secular music. Um, the trap of secular music is, you know, even though he's making some references to God and to Christianity, still using still using cuss words and stuff like that, and a lot of worldly mindsets like vengeance and this and this and that, um, and dissing and all of that. And so I think that that's a big trap of secular music that we should avoid, and that we should work not to listen to it at all. And the other thing is, and this is a big one, is secular music has a tendency to sexualize things. And I don't know what it was. Um, I didn't listen for the lyrics in his music a lot. I just saw people moving around all over the place, and this guy rapping in just such a way that I've never heard before. Well, I've heard similar, but I haven't heard before. And but it was the sexualizing of things. At some part in the, what is it? In his show, there were some, I don't know what it is, but especially male artists have a tendency to sing about sexual things and be like upfront about them, and then female artists have, I don't know, they dress provocatively. I will leave it at that. And so there was some of that. Although I don't think Kendrick spoke overtly about anything sexual. of, of a sexual nature, but I have found that in secular music that is a consistent theme of talking things of a sexual nature and perverting them. Because sexuality, I don't know if you know, but it's a gift from God, but it's a gift that we need to be, we need, that can be used for evil. And as we've seen, a lot of time the devil's used it for evil a lot of times. And so a lot of that is in the music, even though the music sounds good and it sounds catchy. I don't know about you, but I just heard, so from the YouTube video where I first found out about Kendrick Lamar, what kind of music he makes really is, I watched that video and I was like, dang, I heard the song, what was it? Not Like Us. And I just heard the, as a musician, I analyze it as a musician. And a lot of times that means that sometimes I have to, in my mind, bleep out the words, forget about the words. Um, but I just stepped out and analyzed it as a musician, and I thought, dang, this melody is so simple, but it is so catchy. And I listened to his lyrics. I I listened to his lyrics, and I'm like, man, this is not a full-on good lyric that I want to be feeding my soul. But man, this is so well creatively packed, and that's what I left. That's what I left with. And I feel like a lot of us Christians, and I'm speaking especially to Christians, is that's the trap that secular music can get a lot of people in. Um, Now, for most of my life, in fact, for all my life, I've not really listened to secular music. And uh, the point that the reason why I've kept on not going to that, or if I dip my toes a little bit into it, like with this instance, and come back, is because I keep on encountering the same things, is the language thing, the sexualizing of things, and this the message that it gives. Sometimes it can be trying to be a good message, but because it's someone who's not saved, it's still bad. Like it's giving a message that's not good. And so today I was reading in Colossians 3 and it says, sorry. Today I was reading in Colossians 3 and that it says that since you have been raised to a new life with Christ, set your sights on the realities of heaven where Christ sits in heavenly places. Um, and it says, for you died with Christ and your real life is hidden with Christ in God. And when Christ, who is your life, is revealed to the world, you will share in his glory. So put to death the sinful, earthly things lurking within you. Have nothing to do with sexual immorality, impurity, lust, and evil desire. Don't be greedy, for a greedy person is an idolater, worshiping the things of this world. And yet you find that a lot of the music, that's what it's actually doing. They may be good artists, their sound may be good, but at what cost is it? The message that's going into your heart, you know? Now, much love to Kendrick. Um, I think he is an insane artist, and I love the fact that he uses Christian symbols, even though I think there was a one time he wore the crown of thorns, and I don't know what was his intent behind that, but I think he's searching, and I think we should pray for him. And I wanted to let you guys know that if you don't like the Christian music that we have, please, can we make good music, great music? And there is good Christian music, I will say that. Um, but if you're a musician, let's make music that's cool, that's fun. Let's pray for artists like him, because I think, imagine if we had a Kendrick making Christian music, making music that's like at the core glorifying God. Imagine that, dude. That would be so crazy. Dude, that would be so crazy. Oh man. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Watch this other one that's starting, and I will see you in the next one. All right, ciao.